3 professors at the University of North Carolina surveyed undergraduates to get a sense of campus and the climate. Rather than focus on discrete controversies, such as the time in 2015 when student protesters seized control of a room where journalists was speaking, or in 2019 when a UNC student assaulted a sign-carrying anti-abortion activist, they sought to understand the day-to-day undergraduate experience. The results of the survey, distilled from more than 1,000 responses to email questionnaires, cannot be applied to every college in America, but the findings do illuminate what's happening at a highly selective public institution in a swing state where 20,000 undergraduates are enrolled. Now, listen to this. Good news is, in classes where politics comes up, large majorities of self-identified liberal and conservative students say that instructors encourage participation from both sides and want to learn from different perspectives, suggesting that concerns about faculty indoctrination efforts are unfounded. All right. Excuse me, I've got some bullcrap in my throat. Students reported they worry less about censure from faculty than they do from peers, which brings us to the bad news. While majorities favor more viewpoint diversity and favor free speech norms, an intolerant faction of roughly a quarter of students believe it is okay to silence or suppress some widely held views that they deem wrong. Students across political perspectives engage in classroom self-censorship. Students harbor divisive stereotypes about classmates with different beliefs, and a substantial minority are not open to engaging socially with classmates who don't share their views. Disparaging comments about political conservatives are common. So here's what they found. 25.5% of survey respondents said it would be appropriate to create an obstruction, such as a campus speaker endorsing the idea that they could not address an audience. This authoritarian view was held by 19% of self-identifying liberals, 3% of moderates, and 3% of conservatives.
Even split there. Bipartisan.
Yeah. More than 3% of liberals and 1% of conservatives thought it would be appropriate to yell profanity at a student for endorsing an objectionable idea. Also troubling were the undergraduates who reported having kept an opinion to themselves in a classroom, even though the opinion was related to the class because they were worried about the potential consequences of expressing it. Almost 68% of conservatives censored themselves in this way, along with roughly 49% of moderates and 24% of liberals. So I want you to understand what this means. What you're feeling is true. What you live through in your daily life is real. It's not just you. How many times do you hear somebody who has a crazy liberal view that's just out spouting it like, yeah, of course everybody believes this, and you don't say anything, or no one in the room says anything, and so you feel as though maybe that's the popular viewpoint? This survey shows it's only held by about 24%. Now, remember, it was less than 30%. I think it was less than 20% that won the Revolutionary War. It only takes it takes a tipping point of 18%. If that 18% is truly dedicated, they can change the world. They are. They are. Also troubling were the undergraduates who reported having kept an opinion to themselves in a classroom, even though the opinion was related to the class because they were worried about the potential consequences of expressing it. Almost 70% of conservatives censored themselves in this way, along with 49% of the moderates and 24% of the liberals. Think of that. You have 70% of conservatives, 50% of people who say I'm in the middle. And we're all bowing to 24% of liberals. Expressing unpopular views can reveal critical blind spots in prevailing thought patterns, the authors of the report note. Even when a view is wrong, it allows both parties to better apprehend what the correct view must be. A substantial portion of the respondents fear social sanction or even outright grading penalties for sharing their views. Among students who self-identify as liberals, some 10% say they hear disrespectful, inappropriate, and offensive comments about foreign students at least several times a semester. 14% say they hear disparaging comments about Muslims. 20% say they hear such comments about African Americans. 20% say they hear comments about Christians. 21% hear comments about LGBTQ individuals. And 57% of self-identified liberals say they heard such comments about conservatives. 57%. Among moderates, 68% say they hear disrespectful, inappropriate, or offensive comments about conservatives at least several times a semester. Out conservatives may face social isolation. Roughly 92% of conservatives say they would be friends with a liberal. You friends with liberals, Stu?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I have friends who literally are communist. Well, not communist, but they like Karl Marx. They'd make sweet, tender love to Karl Marx. They just don't want to shoot anybody in the head to get there. But they believe all of that crap. We're great friends. I've had several great friends. What is the problem?
Yeah, that's not a requirement of being friends with someone.
Right.
That you agree with them on every single political issue.
Right.
They might be idiots, and everyone's got an idiot friend,
These guys aren't idiots. I just think they're ill-informed. I think they're ill-informed. And, God bless them.
What a mean thing to say about a friend
Yeah.
on the air, too.
Among liberals, almost a quarter say they would not have a conservative friend. 25%